Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. It is Wednesday morning in the UK. I hope you've all survived the horrifying heat wave that is currently surrounding London and parts of Western Europe. And if you're not from the UK or any of those places aforementioned, I hope you're doing all right. I hope you've woken up in a good mood because today we've got some more good Chelsea news coming your way. If you're not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, the George Benson football channel, I'd love to ask you to do so. We've got the first match preview of pre-season coming out in a few hours from now. We're playing against Charlotte in the United States of America tomorrow. That is going to be fun. Turn on those bell notifications also, because if everything goes my way today, I'll have set up my live stream so that I can start doing streams whilst watching Chelsea games. I've got my big computer here now from the UK, all the way to the other side of the bloody world. It arrived, my mother bought it for me. She's an absolute legend, absolute star. And if I don't get a message now, then I know that she doesn't support what I do for a living and watch my videos every single day, watching all the adverts, of course, too. News today, Azpilicueta. We're going to give the captain some time. We're going to talk about Jules Kunde. It's getting close. And Frenkie De Jong. Is there mind games? Are there games being played here by Barcelona? We're going to entertain some of these thoughts today. We're going to talk about that desperate ass club, the one that at this moment in time, unless you are a Barcelona fan or maybe like you prefer Messi in different colours to Paris Saint-Germain, then no one likes Barcelona right now. They're in a bit of a pickle in the terms of like looking forward into the future. They're basically selling the rights to everything they have in the name of salvaging what was historically a brilliant football club, and now they realise that they're kind of going down the drain, so they're just buying everybody, putting pressure on certain clubs, Manchester United. But first of all, we begin by talking about our captain, Cesar Azpilicueta. And Azpi, if you're watching this, mate, I just want to say, if you sign for Barcelona, you might not get paid. So I'm not saying that you're a player who, cares so much about the money per se, but you might not get your payments, mate. They don't pay their players. They just go and buy other players to add to an already expensive roster of players. So be careful, Mr. Azpilicueta. But Barcelona and Chelsea are in direct contact with new rounds of talks now scheduled to discuss about Cesar Azpilicueta. This is reported by Fabrizio Romano. Barcelona wants to speed up the negotiation. Azpi waiting for club's agreement as Barca contract proposal is into his hands since March. Deal until 2024. Now with Chelsea and offering new contracts to players over the age of 30, as you may or may not be aware, Chelsea are often reluctant to offer anything more than one-year contracts to players over the age of 30. That was under Roman Abramovich, Marina Granovskaya's guidance. But now, under Todd Boehly, we may see something change within this new contract offering system that we have, such as we've got Kalidou Koulibaly, who comes in on a 4-year deal. That's absolutely excellent news. At 31 years old, if Chelsea are like faffing around with negotiations, with like trying to get one, maybe scraping two for new signings over the age of 30, then I think this has always been a bit of an outdated principle from the club. I think a lot of footballers now, when it comes to being over the age of 30, a lot of players can keep going. A lot of players can still play at the highest level. Look at Thiago Silva, for example. The fact we've got 2 seasons, about to get a third, is bloody exciting indeed. But Azpi, he's been at Chelsea a long time. He has won absolutely everything there is to win at the club. I would say, personally, I probably don't give Azpilicueta as much credit as I should, and that is because when Azpilicueta signed, he was obviously a lot younger. I think his best years in terms of individuality performances were certainly towards the beginning middle. I certainly think there's been a bit of a dip in Azpi's quality, let alone the fact that the leadership has been phenomenal. I think to take over from John Terry and Gary Cahill is a very difficult job. And I think as much as Azpi may not be the same kind of captain as a John Terry, I think we have to be so grateful for what Azpilicueta has brought to Chelsea Football Club. Gives 110% in every single match. And if it wasn't Barcelona, I'd wish him all the best. But I wish him personally all the best, but I hope Barcelona capitulate and burn into the ground. Azpilicueta to Barcelona, talks are rapidly moving, and it kind of helps Chelsea with this deal because Jules Kunde, we are very, very close now to securing a deal for Jules Kunde. As we know, personal terms have never been an issue. Chelsea and Kunde have agreed personal terms in pretty broad terms for a very long time. We were going to sign him a year ago. It fell through. Sevilla started highballing us. Chelsea didn't want to go for it. And then in the end last season, we can sit here and hypothesize all day long about whether Chelsea would have been better off with Jules Koundé in the team, or if we did okay. We started defensively well, then it got shaky. Who knows what Jules Koundé would have brought to this team. However, Chelsea have been long-term admirers of Jules Koundé, and the fee is going to be something around the region of 60 million euros. Now, the other interesting thing about the Koundé deal, you already know this. Barcelona also want to sign him. I'm like, at this point, I give up with trying to understand the logic behind any of this. Or not necessarily the logic, but just how. How is this humanly bloody possible, man? Barcelona want every footballer in the world. Surprised they haven't watched my Wembley Cup performances and offered me a contract. I'd take half the money. Not even half. I'd take a 10th, an 8th, an 18th. I don't know. I'd take anything. But I wouldn't play. I'd refuse because I don't want to put the Barcelona shirt on. Barcelona are still pushing for Jules Kunde. Chelsea have offered a cash deal that Sevilla want to accept. Sevilla don't want part payments. Chelsea are offering something within the region of 60 million euros with personal terms agreed. I certainly think that as today progresses, we might be at a here we go phase with Jules Koundé to Chelsea. The reason I say that Azpilicueta moving to Barcelona would certainly help Chelsea, it's because, yes, Barcelona can be negotiating for multiple players at once. I'm not sitting here saying, like, we can just, like, distract them by giving them Azpi and then hope that Koundé is just, like, sneaking through like Harry Potter in the library. No, Azpilicueta is probably going to sign for Barcelona, and if they do want Koundé, and Koundé wants Barcelona, they're probably going to get this one done too. But Koundé has wanted Chelsea for a long time. Sevilla are happy with the Chelsea offer. We've just got to put everything through now, and I do believe within a few hours, Jules Koundé could be the second major defensive signing that Chelsea make this summer, and I will be absolutely delighted with that. Yes, he's not got the height, but we've bought in Koulibaly. We've covered that issue when it comes to centre-back who is going to mark the main man of oppositions when we're defending corners and all of that stuff. Koulibaly's that guy. Jules Koundé, brilliant centre-half. Different style of play too. Can also be used as a backup in the right wing-back position. Not his best, it's better on the right centre-back, but this is a brilliant signing for Chelsea. And I think the fact he's so young is also a massive bonus. We move into bringing up another Barcelona player, and this one is a bit more intriguing in terms of how true any of this is. It has been reported, let me get the tweet up here and I'll read it out to you. This is from London Football. Chelsea are reportedly preparing a formal proposal for Frenkie De Jong. In the last few hours, the club have expressed their firm desire to sign the Dutchman from Barcelona. I've not really seen this confirmed by many top sources, but United District, which is a Manchester United account, Barcelona already know that Chelsea are preparing a formal proposal for Frenkie De Jong. They have expressed their firm desire to sign him in the last few hours. A move to Manchester United doesn't seduce the player. We've got some Spanish journalists behind this one, and I think the interesting thing we have here is all of the journalists in Spain, they seem to work as part of the COG network system to get clubs to rush things here. And I think Barcelona at this point are trying to push Manchester United to make a significant offer for Frenkie De Jong. Chelsea's interest, we had Todd Boehly going to Barcelona. I'm sure a lot of that was regarding trying to, smooth things with trying to get an understanding as to what they were doing with Rafinha. That didn't go our way. There's also Alonso to discuss. He's wanted by Barcelona. Azpilicueta also to discuss. This proposal that Chelsea might be willing to put forward for Frenkie De Jong, we saw it about 10 days ago that Chelsea expressed an interest and desire for the player. I do think there is a stronger element here of pressure from journalists in Spain to try and instigate more interest than maybe there actually is from Chelsea. Not to play this story down, I do think there probably is interest, but will Chelsea be willing to pay the kind of money that Barcelona want for the player? They need to get a lot of players out of the club to cut down their wage bill. They've spent a significant portion of money that supposedly they don't really have, so they do need incoming money from the player. But the thing with Frenkie De Jong is he doesn't want to leave Barcelona. So unless Chelsea do make a significant offer, then Frenkie De Jong's not going to become a Chelsea player. He's not going to want the move. Manchester United, at the moment, I think the best offer they've put forward is something like 69 million euros. Player reportedly doesn't want to move to Manchester United for both financial reasons, and also he just doesn't want to move to United. Barcelona are in the Champions League. So, the way I see this one going, if Todd Boehly, Thomas Tuchel want Frenkie De Jong, then I do think this is a good opportunity, because I think Barcelona, the longer the window goes on, if De Jong doesn't want to move to Man United, Chelsea can step in here. And I think as time develops, Something around 70 million euros could end up being enough for Frenkie De Jong. Barcelona wanted 85 million. I don't think this is what it's going to end up being, because United have been dealing with this, negotiating for longer. Maybe Barcelona, as they start to look at finances, or the lack of finances, and they realise they really do need to sell someone. De Jong, massive wages, get him off the bill. Big chunk of money coming in, and Barcelona start to feel a little bit more comfortable. Not that comfort is really on the mind of Barcelona right now. They're just trying to secure the now, regardless of how it puts them in the future. Do I think Chelsea will go in properly with this bid for Frenkie De Jong? We see the reports yesterday, but I don't quite believe it. I think this is more pressure to get Manchester United to make the move, and I still think he probably will end up at Man United this summer. But exciting player, would like him at Chelsea. The repercussions of that for some other midfielders, we'll have to wait and see. But Billy Gilmour looks as though he's probably going out on loan again this season, or maybe sold. So maybe we do need more numbers. Let me know your thoughts on Frenkie De Jong in the comments down below. Are you excited, like I am, about Jules Koundé? I know I often say like I don't want to talk about Koundé, but it's simply because I feel like a broken record. You know, like on the old CDs when you just put the record down and it just keeps going round and round and round. Is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit the like button. If we can go for 2,000 likes, that would be absolutely delightful. And I will be back with a match preview later on today. And maybe the deal for Koundé goes through and there's updates on De Jong. Could always be more news. So turn on the bell notifications. Come on, you Blues.